Welcome back to our Winslow Homer Seascape. Today we are going to be painting our artwork. Last time you drew some wonderful details in your artwork. Step number 2 is then to outline with Sharpie so we are able to see our beautiful details. And now today we are going to paint. Let's get started. To start today, you're going to need your artwork that's outlined in Sharpie, a protector paper so that we don't get paint on our table, a water cup and a brush, some watercolor paint, and our extra orange since we don't have orange in our set. We're going to be doing some color mixing for this project. So we're going to experiment with making a sunset or a sunrise and then making the reflection in our seascape. So our sky is going to reflect our sea. Even though usually a sky could be blue during the day and the water could be blue during the day, since we want to experiment with color mixing, we're going to be making really a colorful sky and a colorful sea. First, I'm going to start with the top of my artwork, which is my sky. And I think I'm going to start with some regular blue. So I'm going to swirl my brush a few times right around in my blue. Now these are really nice new brushes, so you want to try only to get paint at the very tip of them. So I'm going to swirl my brush around. I'm going to actually dip a little bit more water. I'm going to start to paint at the very top of my artwork. Now I'm holding this up right now so you can see, but your artwork should be flat on your table. And that's why we have our protector paper so that we don't accidentally paint on our table. I'm really gently bringing my brush all the way across. I'm painting very lightly, meaning I'm not pressing hard with my brush at all. I want the paint just to be able to come off right onto my paper. If it's not, you need to add a little bit more water. Notice that I'm going back and forth all the way, almost doing like a stripe. Once you finish your first color, the second color, you need to rinse your brush. I'm going to switch to blue. Blue and purple are next to each other on the color wheel, so I can switch to purple. I'm going to swirl my brush around a few times. And when I go to mix my colors, this is the trick. Instead of just painting my purple next to or underneath my blue, I'm going to start to paint some of my purple on top of my blue, and it's going to mix to make indigo, which is blue and purple mixed together. Right? And so that's the color mixing part of our artwork. It also starts to look like a very beautiful sunrise or sunset with all the different colors. When you paint, make sure you're painting around your clouds. We want to leave those pretty white. Right, and then I'm going to make just a plain strip of purple now. So I've already mixed my purple with my blue. I've made some beautiful indigo, and now I'm going to bring down the purple further so that I can see that color as well. Make sure you're going all the way to the edges. The next color that I'm going to use is a red color. Red and purple are also next to each other on the color wheel, so I know they'll mix well together. Again, I'm painting on top of my purple just a little bit so that they start to mix together. I'm painting around my clouds. And I want to make my red a little bit softer, so I'm going to add more water. The more water you add, the lighter your paint is going to be. And the more times you swirl your brush around in your paint, the darker your paint is going to be. I'm going to show you one more time some color mixing. I'm going to switch to orange. I'm going to rinse my brush off. Go get some orange on my brush. And I'm going to start to mix it together around my clouds into my red, and it makes a nice coral color when I mix my orange and my red together. Right? I'm going to put it really close up so you can see that I don't just have stripes next to each other. Everything is blending into each other. And notice how I'm going back and forth. I get a little bit of water, I get a little bit of paint. Now I'm going to paint around my sun. I think I'm going to paint that yellow a little bit later. Notice that I'm outlining things that I don't want to paint inside of. So I'm outlining my sun quite carefully so I don't paint inside it by accident. I'm outlining my clouds so I don't paint inside by accident. And then it makes it much easier to go fill in the rest, right? So you don't have to be as precise with the rest of your artwork. Again, I'm going to go all the way down to my horizon line. Can we all say horizon line? Nice job. The horizon line is this imaginary line that separates the sky and the water, or the sky and the land if we were making a landscape artwork. Right? And finished. I finished painting my sky. Next, I would mirror this and paint my water. So I'm going to start with blue again, then switch to purple, then to red, then to orange. As you can see, I painted my sea just the same way I painted my sky because it's a reflection. Usually the colors that we see in the sky, we can see in the sea. The next step is my sun. Now you might notice that my yellow is a little bit dirty. If this happens, you can go get a wet wipe and scrub it out just a little bit. When you're finished with your wipe, remember that it should go in the garbage, not on your table, right? And we're gonna fill in our sun. As you can see, I painted my sun yellow with a little bit of orange. And last but not least, we need to paint our small details, right? So if you have a boat, sailboats, a dolphin or a shark, a lighthouse, trees, a beach, you might want to use a smaller brush. Here I have my black handled brush and it is much tinier. And that's going to be useful for filling in really smaller areas like the boat. At the end, you should have really all of your artwork painted in completely, every single part. Good luck today. You're going to do a great job.